Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be going over 2 heroes for each role and talk about why these heroes are probably the best hero, if not definitely the best hero for their role. And yeah, let's get into it. So I was looking at the win rates of different heroes, going through my pubs that I've recently played, and just talking to some people about what heroes are good now after the recent patch, after 7.32D. And I've come up with a list of 10 heroes I got for you guys. I thought about doing one for each role, but honestly, as I was making the list for one for each role, I just couldn't come to a conclusion for a lot of the roles, or I felt that the justification for certain heroes wasn't good enough. I needed 2 heroes to cover the different types of games that are often played in Dota, you know, the different style of hero you need for a certain role. So either way, let's get into it and talk about some Dota heroes. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the Game Leap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the Game Leap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. Starting off with the safe lane position. So for safe laners, I chose Lifestealer and Naga. Lifestealer in particular did not receive a singular change, but I do believe that the hero is quite good, and I think it actually didn't love a lot of the unit heroes in the current meta. I don't think it's particularly great against those heroes, and so I think it actually benefited quite a bit from a bit of a shift up in terms of what is meta. One example that's interesting with Lifestealer is that Pipe is a very popular item. Same thing with Naga. Pipe is a very popular. I think it will become a popular item. It got buffed, and I think the item has been a bit underrated for a bit of time now. And both of these heroes benefit substantially when teams buy Pipe, kind of, right? Because they're not buying an item that truly prevents their damage. So that's something to keep in mind. Right? These heroes are good in that regard. They don't do any magical damage basically at all. So that's pretty cool, and I actually do think it matters. Also, Drums is a very good item, but to be fair, you could argue Drums for every right clicker in the game, so I'm not going to make the argument that a 50 gold decrease on Drums makes these heroes really good. But Lifestealer, if I'm going for a physical damage hero, if I think that the enemy team has, you know, maybe a Primal Beast off lane, maybe a Tidehunter, Centaur, something like this, I can pick up the Lifestealer, I can bully these heroes out of lane, and if they want to buy a Pipe, well, they're going to have a hard time because they're going to get chewed through by the Lifestealer with Armlet Deso. And so I think the hero is very dominant in the right game in that regard. I think he's very good at holding his lane, and I think he really enables certain unit heroes in the off lane that are good right now, but we'll talk more about that later on. Now getting into Naga Siren, I think that this hero has been insane for a while now. On Dota buff, the hero's win rate has dropped, and it actually got nerfed in the recent patch. And you know, I hate to say that I think the 2 best heroes carries of the patch are heroes that either didn't get touched or get nerfed, but that's the reality right now. Some of the other roles are different, so don't worry, this is not the entirety. Thank God, it's not the entirety of the video where I'm just saying, this hero got nerfed, but yes, it's still the best because Valve. Naga Siren, I think she's not necessarily that similar to Lifestealer. A lot of the heroes that counter Lifestealer or are countered by Lifestealer actually are definitely not by Naga. But Naga is, I think she's just so good right now. This hero is incredible. Even though it lost 0.2 strength gain and 1 base armor, I think the hero is still incredible. I think it's still one of the best heroes in the game. The enemy picks up, you know, the Visage is, whatever the unit hero is. If they pick up one of the unit heroes, or they pick up like a Night Stalker, or they just lack illusion clear, I mean, Naga's going to carry the game. This hero being able to get a 13-14 minute Manta into an Orchid at around minute 18-19 into 20, then a Heart at minute 24, sometimes 23, 24, 25. It's just insane the timings you can hit. And if you get decent at Naga Siren, because no, this is not a hero you can just pick up randomly, but I think she's broken. I think if you're good at Naga Siren, it's like the stupidest hero in the game. Unironically, just crazy laner, really good laner, good mid game, fine late game. I wouldn't say she's the best late gamer in terms of her personal damage, but she shoves in waves so effectively, so consistently, that it's just hard to play the game. Even if she doesn't directly threaten kills, which, you know, in the late game with Naga, typically you buy Bloodthorn and Hex to be more of like a control hero almost. Your shard to heal people just doesn't matter. All right, getting into the mid lane, I want to quickly talk about Shadow Fiend. I think in terms of lane domination, it's still going to be the case in this current meta. I'm really not going to spend too much time on this hero because while I do think it's one of the best mids in the game right now, and I think right-click Shadow Fiend is very powerful, I really like the Treads, Dragonlance, BKB, then like Hurricane Pike Daedalus, something along those lines. And then later on into the game, people actually go Arcane Blink. I've seen it play out really well. I love this build. It's like a mixed damage build, starting with physical, playing into that BKB timing, and then actually going back for the Arcane Blink, which works fantastic with the right click build, because also Shadow Fiend has this level 25 talent where raises do your physical damage. So every time you raise someone, they get auto attacked. It's incredible with Daedalus. Your raises can crit, and with Arcane Blink, you can fear them, raise, and it's like you're hitting them with Ursa Overpower, but you're critting them, and it's a very powerful. Lot of burst damage. You can dominate the lane, scale by farming, maybe the occasional gank, but scale by farming, hit your BKB, and I think this hero is very powerful as a result of how the lanes also play out right now. And then we have Pango. I think Pango is a very hard hero to play, but I think it's one of the best mid laners in the game. I personally think that the best way to play Dota right now is to have greedy side laners, because frankly, I'm going to be honest guys, I don't think there's a lot of broken mids right now. I think mid lane is a role right now where obviously you can still have extremely high impact. I don't think there's as much of a standout hero that like owns the game as much. Yes, Shadow Fiend can. Yes, Lina still can. Leshrac got nerfed really hard, but let's say Lina and SF, they can still carry the game, and as I said, I recommend the SF. But I also really love the fact that Pango is just so damn good in the early game that he can pressure the side lanes extremely well, and he can open up his Lifestealer's game, his Naga's game, or the offlaners we're about to talk about, Lycan's game, Beastmaster's game, or Razor's game. I think all of these heroes just really want to farm, and if you can have a mid laner that can play tempo and be the control, and you can have an offlaner that doesn't have to be the tempo or the control, it enables these offlaners to have an incredible game and carry the game for you, and I think that's, in my opinion, the best way to play mid right now, unless you're really trying to 1v9, then going something like an SF or a Lina is the way to go. Now getting into offlaners, we got the Lycan and the Beastmaster. I'm putting these into one hero, and then we're going to talk about Razor. I made a video, did that come out already? It might have come out. If it didn't, it's probably the next video of the day, but offlane Razor is actually goated. It's actually goated. This 33 build is so good, it's insane. It's actually so legit. It's crazy. It's actually crazy how legit it is. Yeah, I'm just laughing thinking about the build. It's just crazy. But Lycan and Beastmaster, they didn't get touched by the Wraith Pack nerf, really. If anything, they got buffed by it because it reduces physical damage, which obviously is good against Beastmaster and Lycan, so that item got removed. Heavy buff to Lycan and Beastmaster in that regard. Just any of these heroes that didn't necessarily love Wraith Pack, it buffed them. I actually wouldn't say that that's necessarily, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not too much of a buff to Beast because the Inner Beast is pretty good against the Wraith Pact, and the units are not bad as well. So moving on from that point though, I think the fact that they still can buy Vlads, and they can buy the very broken drums item, and they can group up with their team, they can buy the Helm Dom too, they can buy drums, and they can even buy pipe if they want. If it's a good game for that item, sure, you can pipe your units, you can pipe your units, pipe your team, you can split push, you can push in waves, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying like pipe on Lycan and Beast, but like, you just have options. Right? You have options, and I think the Vlad's build up, still a very good item because of how they changed the lifesteal, working better against heroes in the mid to late game. It's very powerful with your teammates. And I think just like these death ball comps with high physical damage are extremely good right now. Like, genuinely very good. I think the only major counter to them is, you might be like, oh, but Wraith Pack counters physical damage. Yeah, but nah. Then you have you're playing against a bunch of right clickers who probably can click it. You know what I mean? So, doesn't really play out that way. So yeah, huge fan of Beastmaster, huge fan of Lycan. The way that they play the map, the way that they control the map, provide vision. I just think that in the current state of Dota, having an offlaner that can scale and farm is the way to go. But these heroes are hard and require practice, so keep that in mind. And now we got the Razor build. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but basically your Shard is OP, the Bloodstone is really cool, Pipe is a really good item. You buy all three of these items, they're very, very strong in the current state of Dota. The Shard in particular on Razor is one of the craziest shards in the game. I played it recently, it feels just dope. It's just such a great build. And so yeah, if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend you check it out if you're looking for a new offlane hero to play, or even a mid lane hero. It could work there too. And yeah, that's the hero I'm choosing here. Then for position 4, we have Treant. This hero received big buffs to Leech Seed. Overgrowth got buffed as well, so the hero got quite a few buffs, which is nice. And then on top of that, it was already a good hero. It was already a solid hero in pubs. Very, very solid hero. And I really like the Leech Seed max into Armor max. I definitely don't like Q max, personally. I think it's quite awful. I really don't. Really think if you're going to pick Treant, you're either maxing W or maxing your E, depending on the game. If your team really benefits from loading armor or defense from pushes, whatever it is, I think it's very, very good in that regard. And Treant, I really like the items he can buy. I think buying drums on Treant is very good. I think buying Meteor Hammer on Treant is very good. I think going Mana Boots and buffing up your offlaner's mana pool, like something like a Razor Treant lane, can be very, very powerful because you can pick up Mana Boots, build that into Holy Locket, and it's very strong. So honestly, I think there's a lot of potential in this hero. It team fights extremely well as well. It stalls up pushes, which is going to delay the game. So even if your team is losing, right, and you're having a tough match, you can stall out the game, right? You can just keep putting that armor, that 30-second duration armor, or is it 30? Yeah, and you can just stall up for forever, right? right? You just make it impossible for the enemy to just do anything, to make moves on the map. It's brutal to play into the Treant in the late game because they just can't close out the match. You can't close out the match. And I think in pubs where people just YOLO at towers, Treant abuses the hell out of it. He's going to waste their time. If it gets glyphed, they're not going to kill it. They're going to die to the glyph. They're going to overextend. You're going to hit a good overgrowth, and the fight's going to be really easy. And the other position 4 is Mirana. If you're looking for a hero that is more of the range right clicker, I'm not saying go Daedalus, but like the range hero that like, you know, pokes people down, nukes people, plays with the mid laner, like, you know, runs around with a +1 stun. Mirana, in my opinion, is the way to go. I think the hero is just very good. I think the current state of Starstorm, ever since they buffed it, is very powerful. I think Moonlight Shadow is honestly just an incredible ability. If you read it, the fact that it gives movement speed, the talent with the evasion is really cool. Like, I think this hero is just insane. And you can buy any item you want. Like, if you want to buy Pipe, because it's really good in the current meta, buy it. Drums, buy it. Right? Whatever you want. Whatever you can buy. Yules, Spirit Vessel for a Morphling. Whatever it is, you can buy that item. And I think that flexibility is one of the things that, in my opinion, makes Mirana a good hero. It's generally the case on the hero, but I think in particular, there's a lot of very cheap and effective items that can make teamfighting just incredibly powerful and easy. And I think Mirana is just really good at that. Also, she plays well with a lot of the mid laners that play high tempo, such as Pango, Ember, Tiny, etc, etc. She plays very well with these setup stuns, and it makes Dota extremely straightforward when you can stun someone into an arrow and burst them. It makes team fighting and pickoffs extremely easy and clear on what your team should be doing. And that's why I like the hero right now. And now finally for the position 5 role, we have a hero that actually got nerfed. It's Silencer, but who cares? He's still the highest win rate hero in Dota. So just Q people to death. Let's go, baby. And then we have Dazzle, a hero that actually got buffed. They nerfed the cooldown on Dazzle's Q a little bit, but they upped the duration, which is cool. It used to last for 4 seconds, and then if you didn't hit them in a 4-second duration, the poison touch would wear off. Now that's 5 seconds, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it definitely is. It's a very notable slow, and it can be the difference between getting that auto attack off or not, and continuing the poison touch, right? And that's huge, and it really is shown. Also, I will say that I really like Dazzle because I think his shard is very good. I think being able to clear illusions, especially against Naga, I think Dazzle and the Naga is a very cool matchup because you can save Hushi Orchids when she buys Orchid, and you can also kill her illusions with your shard. It's really cool what you can do against heroes like Naga Siren or Peel or Terrorblade and just counter them out. That's awesome. I really think that Mech is in a good place right now. I think Drums are in a good place right now. And I think Dazzle is a great hero to buy them, as if you max out your E at some point, let's say you go 2 points Poison Touch for the lane, 1 point Grave, 2 points Nuke, then eventually 2 points into the heal nuke, right, the Shadow Wave, you can farm very quickly as well, and you can get your team this early mech. And then honestly, I will not lie, for some reason, everyone in Lomomar buys Greaves. Like, everyone in Lomomar buys Greaves. But at least if you're gonna buy Greaves now, that item is way better. It's way better. It got buffed very hard. So if you're gonna go that stupid ass item, even though it's honestly not, let's say you, I think honestly a really strong combo right now is Dazzle Huskar. That actually might be one of the combos of the patch. I'm not even just saying that. I think Dazzle Huskar is so legit right now. I think Greaves with Huskar, because he has some armor problems, but like the hero plays on low HP, so it always gets the Greaves buff, like the regen and the armor. He really likes it, really helps him out. And then he has magic resist. You just become an unkillable beast with Naga, with a Dazzle with Greaves. And I really don't, as I said, I think it's better to go like Mataboots, Drums, Mech, Greaves, something like that, so you have a bit of HP from the Drums with a wand and like raindrops. It's quite expensive, obviously, but if you can get there and you get to these timings, your hero is a menace. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace!
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!